Chair Flores, I have some opening comments if you wish.
Sure, go ahead. Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Knox. Please proceed.
Well, welcome back to your favorite meeting of the month. It's a night of a few firsts. Can you turn that down a bit?
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
No, it's still not going down. Try it now.
Okay. Nope. Got a little echo going over here.
Okay. Which is really weird because it's turned off. Audio's off.
1, 2, 3. Yep. I'll try to do it with the echo, although it's a little distracting. As a first, I would like to introduce the newest member of our LAFCo team. Monia Jameson joins us on a part-time basis to begin our in-house municipal service reviews. Officially, her title is Senior Analyst. Unofficially, her title is MSR Slayer. Mrs. Jameson has a wealth of experience in management and finance of special districts. She has served in several roles within recreation and park districts, including as finance director and general manager. Some of you may have worked with Monia in the past, and know that she is competent, hardworking, and will get the job done. So please welcome Monia to the team.
Recording in progress.
Welcome, Monia.
During tonight's meeting, the commission will go over our first strategic plan, consider an annexation, sphere of influence amendment, and a municipal service review, all for one district. We will review a rare feasibility study, my first, and report out any action taken during closed session, which isn't going to happen because we're now doing this in open session. The strategic plan was originally placed in closed session. It will be heard tonight as an open session item. That was a mistake on my part. Thank you for those who were not shy about pointing out my mistakes. I would rather have corrections made early than find out later that we're not operating legally. So thank you for that. Do we have anybody online?
Travis is trying to get on right now.
Okay.
I don't even have Travis on here.
Yeah, he just requested to leave.
In that case, we don't have any guests in the room, and we don't have any guests online, so I'm going to skip the video conference part of it. You've all heard it before. And
But is the speakers turned on?
I'm going to turn it back to the chair to start the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knox. Okay, everyone, welcome. Good afternoon. This is the Local Agency for Mission Commission meeting of August 20th, 2025. And at this time, I'll ask the clerk to please take the roll.
Commissioner Ion,
Present.
Commissioner Clark,
Here.
Commissioner Couch, Commissioner Endicott, Commissioner Flores,
Here.
Commissioner Fowler,
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez, Commissioner McKibben,
Here.
Commissioner Zaragoza.
Here.
Roll call complete.
Okay, thank you. At this time, it brings us to item 2, invocation. And I'll take the pleasure of leading us in prayer before we start our meeting. You can sit or stand, whatever you prefer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this afternoon, the people here that are seated at this table. As we do the public's work, please give us wisdom and guidance and patience as we solve the problems of the day and as we elevate the community and try to make it better. And let us just remember that we are servants of the constituents and lead us accordingly. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, at this time, we'll do Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Zaragoza.
Please stand and face the flag.
Thank you.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then I think we will have someone joining us by video conference. Is there anyone attending?
I'm opening it up right now.
Okay,
I've got a couple. I lost internet, sorry about that.
no worries. just bear with us. It's my understanding that Commissioner Endicott will be coming online.
We can ask him if he's on. I don't have to speak with him.
Commissioner Endicott, are you with us?
Yeah, yep.
Okay,
He's
thank
here
you.
with friends.
Thank you. Welcome, Commissioner Endicott. I'll turn this over to Mr. Schroeder. I think you have to make an announcement on this before we go for a vote. No?
Having him
Okay.
attend.
Thank you.
And he needs to let us know who's in there with us, but I guess we can see that.
Okay.
Thank you, I didn't
Okay,
think about that.
thank you. So we'll call for a motion to proceed with video conference for Commissioner Endicott.
So moved.
Okay, motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the vote.
Commissioner Ione,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Endicott,
Yes.
Commissioner Flores,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler,
Yes.
Commissioner McKibben,
Yes.
Commissioner Zaragoza.
Yes.
All ayes, motion passed.
Okay. Thank you so much. That brings us to item 5, strategic plan workshop. And the consultant-led workshop draft strategic plan will require a vote at the end. Mr. Knox, I'll turn this over to you before we start.
Yeah, let me kick this off with an announcement. We started this project with Mr. Woolridge, and we are going to finish this project with Dr. Woolridge. He recently got his PhD, which is pretty incredible. So I'd like to personally congratulate him on his achievement and request that the commission approve his final payment as soon as possible before his rate increases. Yeah, from the conversations I've had with Dr. Woolridge and the items included in the draft strategic plan, there was positive feedback and a lot of good ideas. The plan appears to be solid. It identifies significant goals and opportunities. In reading it one more time in preparation for this meeting, it occurs to me that it is difficult to know what to prioritize. My hope is in this discussion today that we discuss where in the priorities of LAFCo do these items fall. Keep in mind that I can pat my head and rub my tummy, but if you ask me to also hop on one foot at the same time, you're likely going to see a breakdown of my skills. So Keith has assured me that prioritization is definitely part of the conversation, so I'll turn it over to him. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so very, very much. Can you all hear
Doc,
me?
can I say, welcome, Dr. Woolridge.
Thank you. Now, we got to get something straight. You all, please call me Keith. It's like that title, it's like wearing a new pair of shoes. It just doesn't seem to fit right now. So I'm still uncomfortable hearing that. And it was, actually, I did it in education. That's where in education. So eating and education, that's where I'm at BC now, and I thought it'd be most applicable. But thank you all so very, very much. It was a lot of hard work. I'm tired. I'm tired, but we got it done. But again, that's not part of this conversation, but again, thank you so very much. Yes, Mr. Clark.
Dr. Woolridge, you say it's like a pair of shoes. You're like Mr. Endicott's shoes, pretty bright, and everybody has to notice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very, very much. But again,
Actually, it's Dr. Endicott, correct?
Dr. Endicott, yes.
It
I
is.
learned that when I had my telephone conversation with him. He's a sharp cookie. But again, thank you so very, very much for the opportunity to serve you all in this project. And I must say, I've learned so much from each and every one of you. I could go around the room, but for the sake of time, I won't. But the conversations, the discussions, your feedback really helped me become a better Kern County citizen, believe it or not, based on the input from each and every one of you. So for that, I want to say thank you. To get into the nuts and bolts on how we got to this draft, you all participated in a 5-part Likert scale, which was the survey. Again, I interrupted your day asking you to take part in the survey, so that's how I got some quantitative data. Then I followed that up with some interviews, and that meant some visits out to TAF, where I had spent the day with Mr. Clark. Then I had some coffee with Mr. Zaragoza. Had a most wonderful conversation with Mr. McKibben in his backyard, where we just drank iced tea and just had a wonderful conversation. Spent some time with Ms. Fowler on the phone at about 7:30 in the morning. So we had a wonderful time in gathering the data. So again, it was a combination of both quantitative from your survey and qualitative from our discussions and conversation. And what I did was I just merged those two. And out of that, I came up with some common themes. So that's what you will see in numbers 1 through 6, I do believe. Those are just some common themes. Again, after conversation with Mr. McKibben, listening to Ms. Fowler, spent the day with Mr. Clark, Mr. Anyang, we had some time on the phone, and other members of the commission. So that's how I got this compiled and put together, by listening to each and every one of you. That's why I took the time to ask the questions. And the follow-up questions came up with some common themes. And then after I came up with those common themes, I put what I thought I heard you say into priorities, and then I had a conversation with your executive director, your executive officer, Mr. Knox, and we had a conversation about what he felt that your commission would be putting 1 through 2 in each one of those. So tonight, the draft is there for your review. Any items you want changed, anything you want adjusted, anything you want massaged, that's why I'm here, so I can give your plan to you. Again, I want to thank Mr. Zaragoza. He pointed out a couple of things and a couple of errors of grammar. Thank you, that I can get that fixed. He had a couple of other items he would like to see shifted and turned around, and that's why I'm here, to get your feedback, sir. So I'll turn over the process. You got the methodology on how I came up with it. Now I'm just listening to you all's conversation and discussion to hear about where you want these items placed in your process. That's how we got there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Ulrich / Keith. Okay, any commissioner comments before we go to public comment?
I wanted to say thank you, Keith. You had a hard challenge because it was a short time frame. We had a lot of commissioners. It wasn't just 4 or 5. Some commissions are only like 5 members. It was during the summer, and I'm sure you have other things to do in the summer than besides doing the strategic plan. I think because it's the first, to my knowledge, it is challenging. You didn't have an existing plan to work off of. I mean, you did have something from the executive officer which had not been approved, but he gave you his thoughts. But what you have now is the commissioner's thoughts and priorities to some degree. I think now all we have to do is put together a final product at some point that we all are in agreement with, whether it's approved today or the next time, just determine on the degree of changes. You're right, I did submit to you my changes via a PDF file. Yes, sir. And if you have any questions on here, but I can't go over all the changes because we'd be here another 30 minutes, and I don't want to do that. But basically, I said, definitely on the first page, add 5 Pillars in Associates LLC, because you should get credit. And for the Kern LAFCo commissioners, I suggested that under supervisors, there should be county supervisors. We need to know who you are. And I think under Ginger Mello, she's not restricted, or is she? I can't remember. One of us is not restricted. Yeah.
She is not?
She isn't.
Mr. Zaragoza, I'm not going to, did you submit those with those changes in your PDF to me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just take a look.
I'm just reading what I submitted to you.
Okay, that's fine.
You already have it, yeah. I think I submitted it to the executive officer and Mr. Flores.
Yes.
And I think the one section I want you to expand on, and I gave you a sample of what I was looking for, is because it's the first, we wanted to expand about Kern LAFCo, what that really is and what it means. And I gave you a 1-page expansion versus just a paragraph. And I talked about the geographical and jurisdictional boundaries of Kern. We are a unique county, and we, started in 1850. We're big on energy production, ag, mining, aviation, military operations, and we are now under the jurisdiction of the Cortez-Knox-Hertzberg Local Government Reorganization Act. And we wanted to point out, we have a population of almost 1 million people now. We have 95 special districts. Bud, correct me if I'm wrong, or Blair. And we have 11 cities. And I wanted to point that out as a background and intro so people know we are no small county. We're not LA County, but we are actually bigger than LA County. Our population is substantially less, but because we have ag, the Central Valley, we have the hot desert, and we have the mountains, and we have cities that are spread throughout the county, there's a big challenge. And so I wanted to point that out, and if you have any questions on my suggested language, let me know. On the strategic plan process, I like what you did there. The process, I'm into process mapping. That's perfect. I like what you did. I just recommended we reorganize some of the,
You wanted vision at the top. I saw that.
the vision, mission, policy, execution, monitor, and strategy at the last. You can call it strategy outcomes or strategy, whatever, but more of a sequence of how things actually work over a 12-month period. And then, basically, the only other product or change I had on the to-do, or the, what I call outputs, is, I think it's on the last page, I recommended, when it comes to periodic self-evaluation,
Yes, sir.
I do recommend that we have a July 1st fiscal year annual performance and evaluation report on the strategic plan. It'd be coming from staff. So we kind of know, what did we say we were going to do over a 12-month period, and what did we actually get done? And what actually got done, we can praise, and if what didn't get done, we can say why didn't. Maybe we need to reevaluate or change, reallocate resources. So that would be one product that I would like to see at the end of this changes to our plan, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Zaragoza. Also, not all of us might have an immediate copy of the draft strategic plan. Mr. Knox, is there any way that we can put it up on video by chance? While we're discussing, thank you. Also, is there any other commissioner comments? Yeah, Commissioner Fowler.
Dr. Keith, just going off what Vince said about the first page on the commissioners.
Yes, ma'am.
The city of Bakersfield has a permanent seat, and that should be referenced here. I don't know about the wording of it, but not that Andre is permanent, but that seat is permanent with the city of Bakersfield.
So do you want me to put the word permanent? I can insert that.
Oh,
I can insert whatever title you would like for me to insert.
well, it's not largest city, it's Bakersfield. That's what the law. Is it largest city? Oh, I stand corrected.
The
Anyway,
largest
that-
city, remember? Is that the language? Is that the language?
Yeah.
So when the city of Delano becomes bigger than the city of Bakersfield, then they will have the permanent seat.
Shafter will become bigger.
I was going to say it'd be Shafter.
Okay, any other commissioner comments?
I have a quick comment. Again, Dr. Woolridge, I commend you on putting this together, going through. I enjoyed our conversation. And I'm sure that was difficult, doing quantitative and qualitative work, and then combining it. And just like your dissertation, as you can see, the final product is never the final product, and there are still edits to do. So I assume that will never stop haunting you after you have completed your PhD program.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Endicott. I like the goals, how you set those out in a really readable manner and with teeth there. On the governance and oversight, organizational capacity
Yes, sir.
portion, I like how that's laid out. In the second initiative, it says establish performance benchmarks using key performance indicators. So who's going to add that in? Do we as an organization add that in over time, or are we going to do that now, or?
Well, this is the overarching, Supervisor
Okay.
Flores. Now, when you all sit down again for your everyday work,
Uh-huh.
procedural work, that's what we will add.
Okay, well, thank you thank you for doing, I love the work product.
Procedure, that's a procedural thing, Mr. Knox?
Yes.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
also, I kind of went in reverse order. Is there any public comment? Because we moved straight to commissioner comment. Okay, seeing none. Okay. I think that might be rounding out commissioner comments. Okay, at this time, I'll call for a motion for direction or adoption of the draft strategic plan.
Could we just say, since we haven't done this before, I just want to, for participation purposes, what is this, any staff comments or what? A lot of this work will be done by staff. So any thoughts on that before we go ahead and make a vote on the changes?
Yeah, a lot of the items are pretty self-explanatory. Other items such as setting metrics of our work is difficult because we don't really control, how many applications we get in a year. What we have done I mentioned that someone here, I think it was Tom, that next month I'll have been here 9 years. The focus has always been first on the proceedings that we're dealing with. I want to make sure staff, makes that the core of what we're doing. Everything else kind of circles around that, whether it's administrative, whether it's strategic, whether it's political. The core of it is the work that we do to get these proceedings to you in a way that's useful for you to be able to make good decisions as a commission. That's a majority goal of what we're trying to do here. So there's going to be some discussion, I think, of what are our strategic goals and how do we measure them. I also have an issue that, and this has become very clear in the last couple of years, and something I was going to bring up later, but I'll bring it up now. We have proceedings that this commission approved in March that we've just got the billings from elections, county elections department, this last week, which means that in one case we have a city of Bakersfield annexation that included a apartment complex that has a failing sewer system. But the city of Bakersfield cannot hook up. They have a line running right in front of the apartment complex, but they cannot hook up until that property is within the city limits. And so you have not only a failure from a procedural, you also have a health and safety issue. You have a failing sewer septic system. So I have no control of telling county elections, hey, we badger them, hey, you need to get this to us, but I have no control over that timetable to get a lot of that work done. And Commissioner Flores has helped with that and some other issues with the assessor's office and the new accounting program. I very much appreciate that. So I would love to tell you that we're getting things done faster, but we're not. And it's frustrating because it's not always us. It could also be, I've mentioned before, Bud going through reviews of maps and legal descriptions 3, 4, 5 times before we get a product that's is usable. We have one that you've been working on for a year and a half?
No, 2.5 years.
2.5 years. One map and legal description
But
that,
it's a huge area, and there's over 138 different areas involved. So,
Well, Mr. Knox,
so
thank you for that reminder.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to encompass that into what we're talking about here as a strategic plan.
Sure. So that's an important reminder of what we control internally and what we're linked to externally that we may not have as much control. So that should also guide us and be a part of this. Commissioner Fowler.
That kind of plays into what I was going to point out in the SWAT section under threats. The last one listed potential political shifts or resistance to consolidations and there's a space. And I don't know what was going to go in that spot.
It's a mystery statement.
their
Likely,
bureaucracy.
consolidations and reorganizations typically
reorganizations.
go together.
Okay.
Forgive me, Ms. Fowler.
I'll defer to-
Consolidation and reorganization
Yeah,
and
It's
threats,
the
yes.
last
it's the
item.
very last threat.
Thank you. Forgive me.
But you're also talking about bureaucratic
Yes.
timing issues.
Yes.
And I don't know if that belongs in there or not, but certainly you're dealing with it on a regular
My
basis.
thought in that instance has more to do with something I've said for a long time. The biggest threat to LAFCo is the state legislature. And keeping track of what they're working on. They're working on a Brown Act bill that will add a significant expense to every city, special district, and county in the state. Without, of course, without reimbursement. That's what they're
Gotcha.
famous for. So we're, there are multiple political strategic areas that I try to handle as much as possible and not bring them into this room. But also making you aware when there are issues that come up that need to be resolved. So
Kind
it's
of
kind of a
referenced
balance.
in the first threat.
Yes.
I was going to add on to it, Commissioner
One
Flores.
second. I've
sorry.
got Commissioner Ione, and then we'll go to you,
Oh,
Commissioner.
I'm sorry.
Zaragoza.
Go ahead.
It's okay.
Yeah, I got a question, Dr. Woolridge, and then Blair. Maybe regarding the oversight regarding special districts. Do we have a plan for that as far as if they're failing, if they're not providing the services for communities, rural communities, anything? Do we have a plan through the LAFCo commission or any sort as far as how to address that immediately and
I
not
think-
wait for just a recommendation?
There is no specific plan, Commissioner. But that is something that, as the board, you all may want to talk about and highlight, and I can add that as one of your strategic initiatives going forward, to look
That-
at one of those special districts.
Absolutely, because when you have a vacant board that's not holding people accountable and not having oversight of taxpayers' money, then there's a huge issue. And especially if we're commissioners here and we're supposed to be overseeing special districts, how do we direct? I know they're elected boards, but at the same time, how do we push this faster through the state or legislative, instead of, saying, hey, here comes another year, let's wait to propose a bill, et cetera,
Commissioner, again, you have 6 overarching areas. We can have a conversation with staff about where do you see that in one of those big overarching areas, this oversight of special districts, whether it's strategic growth, strengthen governance, empower underserved communities. Where would you, again, along with your staff, where would you like to see that type of conversation happen in your overall strategy?
It would be oversight of taxpayers' funding, somewhere in the governance where
Government
us as elected officials or commissioners.
If I may, through the chair. Sure. This is an argument that being the special district rep, I know you can attest to this too, special districts need to be deemed essential in the state of California. They're not.
Agreed.
And so oftentimes special districts fly under the radar. And so part of the strategic plan might be to say, or send off a letter to the state legislature saying, hey, don't forget about special districts, because they need to be deemed essential, because they are. I had a gentleman many moons ago, I'll just talk about the funeral gentleman, the Taft Cemetery. He says, I'm getting so poor, we can't let people down anymore. It's important. You're talking about mosquito abatement, cemetery districts, rec and park districts, water, sewer. It's essential, and it's not deemed essential in the state of California. So to Commissioner Ayan's point, it needs to be essential. There needs to
Correct.
be more, hey, here we are, look at us, we need help.
Yep.
Because regardless, somebody's going to pay for those essential services.
So,
So,
Mr.
yeah.
Knox, 1 through 6, where would you want me to make that additional column or row?
I would like to address Commissioner Ion's comment first. We made a big step just this week in hiring Mrs. Jameson to do the municipal service reviews. When we do see districts that are failing, that is our in to really take a deep look into their operations, their financing, and where there could be help, where there's possible. Some districts, frankly, are too small today to operate efficiently. The world's got more complicated, and you can't hire your cousin who maybe knows how to fix sprinklers but has no idea how to run a rec and park district. You can't hire them as your GM anymore.
So you've been talking to the McFarland Parks and Rec? Just saying.
Talking to Button Willow, talking to
No. Chair,
Yes.
I want to say that's proactive hiring this individual for that, but obviously having that plan, it's essential for every special district, every small community. And I do agree with Commissioner Clark, that Parks and Recs are essential to every community. And the question I have is just making sure there's oversight and it's not too late to try to fix or be in financial debt where it's almost we're going to wait for a year, 16 months, 2 years to actually address this issue. So my question or my comments is, how do we speed up the process when a district is failing? It doesn't have to be a Parks and Rec. It could be a water district or just a special district. How do we hold those people accountable and say, okay, yes, commissioners, we have an employee now that's basically overseeing and say, hey, this special district is failing. They don't have enough revenue. They're going under. How can we address that in a faster capacity?
And there's a fine line there because, I've never met a district yet that's been overfunded. They're always kind of at the edge of their funding, always wanting to do more with what they've got. And Les has seen that a lot. There's never enough funding for all of it. The question is, can we provide it? Is an effective service being provided in a way that serves the people? And how you quantify that is difficult. We're going through that right now.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And I mean, just to address your comment is, we don't want, small communities don't want all the services. Everybody wants all the services, but just to have the basic services that us taxpayers pay for, that's important. And a lot of our residents in our city are going without just basic needs of Parks and Rec services. But we will get to that when we get to the feasibility study. But I'm just talking, just not McFarland, I'm just talking in general,
Yes.
as LAFCo commissioners, how do we address this in an expedited fashion? So,
Thank you. No, I'm happy to incorporate it wherever you see fit. I think goal 3 might be a good fit to put that under.
thank you, Chair.
Also, Commissioner Saragosa.
Right. Just to follow up on what Commissioner Flores says, that when it comes to what we can do over a 12-month period, we need to focus not only on what's internal but external. But on the internal part, which is more or less within our jurisdiction, we do have some control over the KPIs. And, some of the things we have in this very profound strategic plan is like launch training for personnel of cities, special districts, and engineers. And we have a timeline, and that should be the check and balance. We need to, that becomes a KPI. And another one is to conduct a facility needs assessment. That's within our control. That's a timeline we have here of 2026. Some of these timelines, I think, should have like a month or a quarter, like the first quarter or the second quarter of the year, so we could be more definitive when that task will be accomplished. So certain things like that we have control over. Obviously, MSRs, a little bit out of our control if they don't provide information to the city or the commission staff for us to do the MSR. we have to rely on them, and that's a little bit more problematic. That's more or less external. That's it.
Commissioner Fowler?
I'm looking at number 4, promote public engagement and transparency. Talking about, as Vince said, launching training for personnel of cities, special districts, engineers, and so on. Provide bilingual translators for public meetings. That's a budget item that we hadn't considered in the past. We've added security to our meetings, but that was of interest to me. But I wish LAFCo could reach out and educate local cities and districts about educating the people they choose or would like to annex or consolidate or what have you. I think that has been a weakness in some areas, and I think that is a reasonable LAFCO responsibility to help the cities and districts we deal with do the public outreach, transparency.
Yes. Let me address your first by introducing our translator tonight. He was requested by the city of McFarland. We have had this policy for just as long as I've been here, is when someone requests a translator, we provide them. I would have liked to have more than 48 hours notice, but, you know, we did the best we could, and I appreciate you being here tonight. So, yeah, that is something we've always had, but this is, in my recollection, only the second time in my almost 9 years that there's been a request for one. So having one here at every meeting is probably not necessary. But, you know, that's up to the commission to decide whether that's something you want to do or not. The other part of your reaching out for public and working with cities and that. I agree. From a standpoint of, I think I've said this before, trying to educate the entire world on what LAFCo does is futile. And my joke is, you know, most people don't know what the President of the United States, his duties and responsibilities are. In fact, I don't think the President of the United States knows what his duties and responsibilities are. So expecting the public to understand LAFCO is probably a little out there. Sorry, Devin. Anyway. So the question is, how do we provide information to those who are affected by what we do the best in a way that has them well educated to make a decision that's informed about what's going to happen with their property, with their city, with their special district? So yeah, that's always been kind of the goal. Getting a website up and running has been very helpful. We've gotten positive feedback from a number of people on that. Something if this Brown Act bill passes, everything we send out, agendas, will all have to be in English and Spanish. So we're gonna have to somehow adjust to that. I don't know how we're gonna do that yet, but there's pieces of the bill that we're already doing. We're having our meetings both in person and online. We're meeting several of the areas already, but some of them are going to be very expensive to work our way through.
Well, I think there should be a box for that
Okay.
on that page.
Chair.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, Chair. Just to add on that regarding the interpreter, I think it is a cost, but it's a benefit. You just never know who's going to show up, and due to the backgrounds here in Kern County in California, that's why we have it in our city. And it's a benefit because you never know. And even though I do know Spanish, I'm not going to try to interpret. I'm not certified in Spanish, so I'd rather have somebody that has that skill set. But that's just my comment, Chair.
Thank you. Good discussion. Any other comments? Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Fowler.
I would feel better if we could see the final product before we voted on it. That's just an opinion.
Yeah, sure. I mean, considering the number of revisions and input, I think that's very valid.
That's fine. Can you give me a couple more weeks? I start school next week. So if you don't mind, and I will work with the executive team.
Sounds good.
Yes, ma'am. I'm okay. You guys got me. Les fed me well when I was in TAB, so that's fine. He fed me well.
Well,
So if we can bring it back in October, does that work?
That's fine.
Okay, instead of September?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Keith, I've been called a lot of things, but late for dinner.
October. Our next meeting is in September,
October.
September 17th, which is pretty, quick timing. Oh, then let's do September then. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so September it
Yes,
is.
September 17th.
All right,
Keith.
thank you, everybody. That brings us to item 6, approval of the minutes of our meeting, June 18th, 2025. We all had a copy of
So-
them in advance. Any public comment?
Mr. Chairman, on the agenda, we put it that the regular part of the meeting would start at 5:15.
Oh, okay.
So we've got ourselves half an hour here. I would hate to have people show up and we already be finished.
Sure.
I didn't know how long this was going to take to get through this, so I left about an hour. So,
Don't worry. So we can pick up the meeting at 5:15?
yes,
Okay, and then we'll start with item 6.
if that's agreeable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chair, quick question. I thought Dr. Dominguez, Doctor was supposed to buy dinner. Just kidding, just kidding.
Did you want to take this time for them to look?
I do have a good memory. No. Hey, there's water and coffee, right?
Could I, did we cover all the points?
I'm in your hands, Commissioner. So whatever you all wanted to discuss, I'm here
No,
to
they're-
listen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, if they had any other
Staff,
questions for it.
make the adjustments that you want.
Well, I know,
Excuse me, sir, can I have you go back to the podium? Yes, sir.
obviously, we're building the cart,
Yes, sir.
but I see in your weaknesses, we don't necessarily have the horse.
Well, let's have that discuss through the chair, through you. That's why we're here, Mr. Clark.
We have the horse, but we need horses, right? I mean, if you look at the weaknesses, for instance, it states, limited financial and human resources to implement all strategic initiatives. And I know you got a big part of the team here now that kind of checks that box. But is there anything that staff wants to address? Because once we build this cart, if you don't have the horses, where can we fill in the blanks to support staff?
Can I chime in?
Yeah.
You brought up a good point. One of the concerns, it's not a concern, but LAFCos are different sizes, from this small size, which has been doing a great job considering the size of the county, to Orange County LAFCO size, which last time I looked, it was 15-plus employees. But of course, they got millions of people, but what I find out is they are well-positioned fundraising-wise via grants, writing grants and/or looking for other resources. Do we have that capability? And if not, should we begin training staff and/or funding for that type of resource?
Well, that's my point. I mean, I'm a football guy, old football coach. We can say we're going to run the wing T, but if we don't have the backs and receivers, it doesn't matter. So I think it's important to make sure that on these weaknesses that we point out what we need to get that cart moving forward, because I want to make sure we're not, putting an offense together that we don't have the team to and the capabilities to implement.
As far as grants and that goes, I don't believe there was ever a grant before I got here. We did get one grant during COVID, the CARES Act funds that was managed by the county. We got a server out of that, so that was very helpful for us to be able to work remotely and to be able to reorganize our files in a way that's more useful to us. So it's not something we pursued greatly, aggressively. There are not a whole lot of grants specific to LAFCO. Matter of fact, I've never actually seen one specific to LAFCO. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other.
There are, because I've seen them, but obviously, unless you're looking for them, it's going to be hard to implement, but no. They are available if you look hard enough.
Yeah, and we've worked with other agencies when we were consolidating resource conservation districts. That there was a grant that was given to the resource conservation district to help with that. So, and part of that money came back to us through that. So, there's different ways to use grants and to be involved, whether you're the lead applicant or someone who's like us, often at the tail end.
I think to piggyback on Commissioner Clark, maybe it's something we should explore and then come back with, findings in the next 6 months or so and let us know what's out there. And if not, if it's zero benefit to expend resources, fine, but unless we actually explore that idea, we won't really know the facts. Just my suggestion.
Yeah, Dr. Keith is amazing. We spoke about a lot, but I think it's important that I think there's opportunities but with opportunities come challenges, and what are the challenges? And I think that we need to really put that in bold italics, to make sure we can implement certain things.
Under opportunities,
Yeah.
Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
So outside, I'll work with Chair with some language.
Yeah.
I'll work with your executive director for some language.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No problem.
put us on hold, but I thought it would be important to just mention that. It's,
We're good.
we can say we want to reach it, but we got to make sure we have the capabilities to do so.
Yeah, my next big step is to work with Manya to really build a program for municipal service reviews. That's going to take some significant time, since we've never actually done this in-house before. So we're going to come up with a plan and of how we're going to attack it. I believe last time we talked about this, the commission said, go ahead and, I presented them in groups that were geographic. I think I want to start with Tehachapi. The community service districts up there and water district up there are struggling with a number of issues. And it's something where in other areas, there's 5 CSDs up there. To start out with, having 5 of the same type of district is going to be a lot easier to work with than a water district, a rec and park district, a cemetery district, where they're all different principal acts. This is a way to get started and introduce ourselves to doing this without getting so bogged down that we don't find our way out. So that's the last thing I want to do is, I guess the best way to put it is I always want to be moving forward, but not at the speed of sound, at a pace that we can handle with the staffing and resources we have. So that's kind of the way I see moving forward first, but there's also a number of projects, internal as far as, work plans and things like that are definitely in the plan that I'm going to have to get on the ball and get started on pretty quick.
So, Mr. Clark, if you'd be kind enough just to send your language, and I will work with your executive, get that inculcated into the word.
I think it's essential that we support as much as we can. I'm not going to speak for the whole commission, but I think it's important that we build a cart, but we make sure we have the horses to do it. And it'd be interesting to find out if we don't, in what areas, we can get better at.
That's another contract, Mr. Clark.
Yes, sir. It's another hamburger and another talk. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In a way, I've actually left some room in the budget for this year. We budgeted for another full-time position. Manya is part-time. And if we find the right additional part-time person, we could bring them in as well to help out. But I haven't found the right person yet. And I want someone who would work well with Manya and our whole team. So there is some flexibility left. And if we find that we need to utilize some of those funds for another project, we can do that as well. So, and I'll bring that back to you. I don't get to make that unilaterally.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Commissioner McKibben.
I'm the other special district representative. And you were talking about struggling and the districts and stuff like that. I think some of that comes from not paying attention. Look at the city of Bakersfield on their sewer plant from 200 to 900. Well, they failed in over a period of time, and districts do too. They're afraid to raise taxes, and the people get mad, you know. So all of a sudden, they're struggling because they're underfunded by shooting themselves in the foot, you know. And we are well-funded, and when the county for 8 or 10 years didn't increase wages, we increased COLAs every year, you know. We have a big expansion coming, and on service charges, connect for new construction, we are on top of that, you know. So my point on with the special districts, you're saying they're struggling, a lot of it is self-inflicted, you know.
I didn't mean to to say that all special districts are struggling. I've got a number of them that are. I was going to go to this later, but Kern CSD recently received a letter from the State Water Board asking them for a voluntary consolidation with Indian Wells Valley Water District. I've been working on Lamont Stormwater District for 7 years at least. I've got another district up in Lake Isabella that has come to me asking about dissolution of the district. So yeah, I've got multiple projects where districts and are struggling, and that doesn't even, I've got cities that are struggling. Maricopa has struggled for a long time. I think it's a matter of time before they're going to get themselves in trouble. Just because they don't have the funding. California City has been a political mess for decades. But that could turn into something that we're going to have to spend a significant amount of time on if they don't get things straightened out. So this isn't just, special districts. It's across the board. And the county is struggling at that in places. Your budgets aren't what you would hope they would be, and so in certain areas. So it's not specific to one area of local government.
And I guess for me, through the chair, if it's okay,
That time, got 10 minutes.
Gary, for us, we're 65% dependent on the oil industry, and everybody knows what's happened there. So 65% of our funds for our special districts, and when I'm talking about water, hospital district, mosquito abatement, Taft Cemetery, and West Side Rec and Park districts, it's gone. We've done a very good job having reserves, but our reserves are becoming slush funds, and so we're having to pivot and try to figure out what's new. And when you're not deemed essential, it's hard to find grants, and it's hard to continue business as usual, because the community still deserves gold standard, and they expect gold standard, and we provide gold standard. But there is a cost, and that is a lot of sweat equity on my staff's part, doing more with less, and I don't mean me. So I know that some are out there that are doing well, and my hats are off to them, and we'd love to talk with them, but our funding, it's just not there, and it needs to be, and that's Sacramento unfortunately driven.
Good point. So, Keith, you feel good with the direction now?
Yes, if I have any
Timelines?
questions,
Okay.
I will just contact Mr. Knox
Sure.
and Mr.
Okay. Look forward to having you back in September.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Are we taking a break?
Yeah, so we'll recess for 15 minutes. Welcome back and welcome to the public of our local Agency Formation Commission August 20th meeting. We will start and reconvene at item number 6, which is approval of the minutes of our June 18th, 2025 meeting. Any public comment? Okay, seeing none, any commissioner comments or questions?
Move approval.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
The motion and second, please call the vote.
Commissioner Yon,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Couch,
Yes.
Commissioner Endicott,
Aye.
Commissioner Flores,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner McKibben,
Yes.
Commissioner Zaragoza.
Aye.
All ayes, motion passed.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to item number 7, public comments. This portion of the meeting is reserved for people desiring to address the commission on any matter not on this agenda and over which the commission has jurisdiction. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record before making your presentation. Madam Clerk, is there anyone here for public comment?
Anybody online?
Okay, thank you.
Under that item, there will.
Okay, I'm going to go a little bit slower because we do have translation today. Okay, that brings us to, there's nothing under item 8. That brings us to item 9, notice of public hearings. The next 3 items for north of the River Sanitation District will be handled by one presentation by the executive officer. Once we're ready to vote, I will read each of the items and put out a call for a motion. I will then go to the next item and repeat the process for all 3 items. Okay, Mr. Knox.
Yeah. I'd like to start by giving credit to North of the River Sanitary District, number 1, for their efforts here. There is a core annexation for which they applied, but there are also other areas that they have been serving that need to be brought into the district boundaries. You may have noticed that when we are doing a lot of cleanup of boundaries lately. Mr. Rice has been working on this project for several years. Staff is not forcing the issue, but rather asking these areas to be included when an annexation comes up for the commission to consider. Both the sphere of influence and the district boundaries need to be expanded to take in a large area north of Merle Haggard and east of 99 that will one day see expanded industrial and logistical operations. The municipal service review identifies the district's core services and extension of services to new areas, but also discusses possible consolidations with other agencies in the Metro Bakersfield Shafter area. NOR and the city of Shafter have shared treatment facilities for several decades, bringing better efficiencies than standalone operations. There are 5 agencies that provide sewer service in Metro Bakersfield. There is room for additional cooperation and possible consolidation. Even though I've brought this up several times to other agencies serving Greater Bakersfield, I have not seen a desire to do the work it takes to make additional changes. There is no change in taxation. It is consistent with the general plan, regional transportation plan, or specific plan. There is no ag land conversion. It's consistent with commission policies and conforms to assessor parcels. We have an indemnification agreement from North of the River Sanitary District, and there is no functional overlap. Initial water usage will be the same, as building and operations of facilities will require additional water to be provided by the appropriate water provider. CEQA is handled by a notice of exemption adopted by the applicant. Affected and overlapping agencies and districts were notified and no comments were provided. We have not received any opposition to this annexation. As such, it is eligible under Government Code Section 56663 to waive the protest hearing if there are no protests. The process required by the Cortese-Knox-Hertzberg Act has been followed, including notices to affected agencies and any notices and publications required by law. So there are 3 recommendations. The first is on the sphere of influence. It is recommended that the commission consider the environmental document prepared by the district and approve 1849 Sphere of Influence Amendment to North River Sanitary District Number 1 with conditions recommended by the executive officer. The second recommendation is on the annexation. It is recommended that the commission approve annexation number 1851 to the North of the River Sanitary District Number 1. This is annexation 715 with a requirement of notice, hearing, and protest hearing be waived and subject to conditions recommended by the executive officer. Lastly, the MSR, the recommendation is adopt 1850 North of the River Sanitary District Number 1 Municipal Service Review Update and consider the notice of exemption filed by the district for this project.
Okay, thank you. Sure, yeah.
This is the well-ran district that I mentioned earlier. This is my district.
We can attest to that. That's good. Okay, so as I do public comment and go through what I need to, will that suffice for all three items, or do I have to do that 3 different times?
It would suffice for.
Okay, thank you. So at this,
No objection from the commission.
okay, without objection, move to public comment. Is there any public comment on these 3 items collectively? Okay. Seeing none, any commissioner comment or questions? Call for motion?
You need 3 motions or 1?
One motion for the 3 or 3 motions?
We're going to need 3
Okay,
motions.
we'll do the first motion for the sphere of influence.
Motion on the recommendation.
Second, Fowler.
Okay, thank you. Motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ion,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Couch,
Yes.
Commissioner Endicott,
Aye.
Commissioner Flores,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Aye.
Commissioner McKibben,
Yes.
Commissioner Zaragoza.
Aye.
All ayes, motion passed.
Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion for B, 1850, the Municipal Services Review.
So moved.
Motion?
Second, Endicott.
You have a motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ion,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Couch,
Yes.
Commissioner Endicott,
Aye.
Commissioner Flores,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner McKibben,
Yes.
Commissioner Zaragoza.
Aye.
All ayes, motion passed.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, this is for item C, 1851, North of the River Sanitation District, annexation number 115 and CSA 71 Detachment W.
Motion, Endicott.
Second. Couch.
Okay, with motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ion,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Couch,
Yes.
Commissioner Endicott,
Aye.
Commissioner Flores,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Commissioner McKibben,
Yes.
Commissioner Zaragoza.
Aye.
All ayes, motion passed.
Okay, thank you. That now brings us to item 11, general business, and this is approval of the monthly expense list. Mr. Knox.
I have no report.
Okay. So we'll just move straight for motion. Or any comments or questions first before I entertain a motion? Okay, seeing none, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, Clark.
Thank you.
Second. Couch.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ion,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Couch,
Yes.
Commissioner Endicott,
Aye.
Commissioner Flores,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yes.
Commissioner McKibben,
Yes.
Commissioner Zaragoza.
Aye.
All ayes, motion passed.
Okay, thank you. And this is now approval for monthly expense list number 2506, and no report as well.
No.
Thank you. Any commissioner comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Okay, have a motion.
Second, Endicott.
Okay, have a motion and second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ion,
Aye.
Commissioner Clark,
Yes.
Commissioner Couch,
Yes.
Commissioner Endicott,
Aye.
Commissioner Flores,
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yes.
Commissioner McKibben,
Yes.
Commissioner Zaragoza.
Aye.
All ayes, motion passed.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, under general business, item C, this is a feasibility study for McFarland Recreation and Parks, and this is an informational item. Mr. Knox.
Yes. The city of McFarland submitted an application to Kern LAFCo to modify the governance of the McFarland Rec and Park District, aiming to make it a dependent district under city's control. The city submitted an application with the knowledge that LAFCo would look into multiple options for how to better utilize the resources available for parks and recreation services. Out of that exchange came a feasibility study that is before the commission tonight. This feasibility study evaluates the city's proposal and explores alternative governance models to improve efficiency, service delivery, and financial stability. A little background, McFarland Rec and Park District was established in 1975 and currently operates 4 parks and a recreational center, offering various youth and adult programs. However, the district faces significant challenges: aging infrastructure, declining revenues, leadership turnover, and strained relations with the city. The city argues that dual service provision is inefficient and that McFarland Rec and Park District has failed to maintain facilities and deliver consistent programming. Both the city and the Rec and Park District are experiencing financial stress. The Park District budget is insufficient for the scope of services, with increasing personnel costs and deferred maintenance. The city's general fund has seen declining revenues and rising expenditures, especially in capital projects and public safety. Neither entity is in a strong position to absorb additional financial burdens. McFarland Rec and Park District manages several parks and facilities within the city limits, but services lag behind better funded districts. The city also maintains parks and community spaces through its recreational program is limited. Both entities face staffing and resource constraints. There are 5 governance models that were analyzed as part of this project. First being the dissolution of the McFarland Rec and Park District, with the city taking over the assets. This is not a viable alternative. The county, not the city, would become the successor agency due to assessed property valuation distribution. The second model was conversion to a dependent district. Again, this is not a feasible alternative. The city does not meet the legal requirement of encompassing 70% of the McFarland Rec and Park District's land area within their boundaries. The third model is appointed board of directors, replacing the current elected board, and this is the recommended option, is to replace elected Rec and Park board members with appointments by the city and county. This model retains the district structure while improving coordination and shielding the city from the Rec and Park's debt. Option 4 is an operational agreement between the city and the Rec and Park District. This is unlikely to happen anytime soon due to the poor interagency relations, though an operating agreement of some kind could offer flexibility and efficiency if cooperation improves. The fifth option is no change to the current structure, which maintains autonomy, but perpetuates inefficiencies and financial vulnerabilities. The study concludes that maintaining the current structure is not advisable. The most feasible path forward is transitioning the Rec and Park District governance to an appointed board, better enabling coordination, gradual reform, and hopefully better financial outlook. Changing to an appointment board does not require immediate action from Kern LAFCo. That makes this an informational item. With this information is now in the city's court as to what steps they would like to take next. And with that, I turn it back to the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Knox, for that overview. At this time, is there any public comment? Thank you. Please state your name. Welcome.
Yes. Good evening, Honorable Chair and Commissioners. My name is Diego Viramontes. I'm the City Manager and Finance Director for the City of McFarland. We just have a few responses related to the report, the feasibility study that was completed. We have a detailed response that we will leave with the clerk, but I will summarize some of these responses in the interest of time. So the first item we would like to address is the mischaracterization of tension between the city and the district. The report states that over time, tensions between the two agencies have resulted in a strained and often contentious relationship, and that over the years, disagreements have arisen between the two entities regarding impact fees, park maintenance, and adequacy of services provided. The reality is that the key points of tension have been driven by community frustration, not the relationship between the city and the district. At a public meeting held on April 23rd, 2025, McFarland residents criticized the pool closure since 2020 and declining sports programs. Furthermore, a 2025 Kern County Grand Jury report further highlighted deficiencies in the district's operations, including the lack of an aquatic center and ongoing funding challenges. In June 2025, the city filed an application to reorganize the McFarland Recreation and Park District as a subsidiary district under city control in accordance with Government Code Sections 56077 and 57105. This was done overall with an intent to improve efficiency and better manage taxpayer resources. The second item is the overall city governance structure. The report states that McFarland has a 5-member council and a weak mayor. The reality is that the city has four council members, each elected by district, and a separately elected mayor. The mayor has a full vote on council. A weak mayor system, such as in the city of Bakersfield, is a ceremonial position and has no vote. McFarland operates under Government Code Section 34851 as a council manager form of government. The third item is related to the city's financial condition. The report claims that the city has struggled to provide quality services due to an inability to generate tax revenue. The fact is that 5 years ago, the city was faced with a backlog of audits. Since then, the city has completed those audits and today maintains clean and timely audits with no material weaknesses or deficiencies. In addition, the city's general fund has shown steady annual growth due to the passages of measures M and O, conservative budgeting, and strategic use of grants and transfers. As a result, the city has expanded public safety, improved roads, supported new developments, and upgraded its water and wastewater systems. The fourth item we'd like to respond to is in regards to recreational programming. The report suggests recreational programming is a new focus and dependent on staffing, funding, and engagement. Recreational programming is not new. In the past year, the city launched the community garden with the assistance of the Mujeres Activas nonprofit that's currently here. We've converted a basketball court to a pickleball court to have more accessibility sporting activities or recreational facilities, installed lighting at Blanco Park, and hosted the Great Festival and Freedom Fest with strong community turnout. These successes were achieved with existing staffing and modest resources. The city is also planning senior services and additional events in the current fiscal year. The fifth item we'd like to address relates to public trust and legitimacy. The report suggests that not directly electing district board members could reduce public trust and perceived legitimacy. The fact is that 92% of district residents are also city residents who elect their mayor and council. If the city assumes responsibility, accountability will rest directly with those elected officials. The sixth and final item relates to inconsistent leadership. The report claims frequent turnover in staff and management has resulted in inconsistent leadership. The fact is that McFarland's council has provided consistent leadership for the past 5 years, ensuring stability in management. The city has expanded staff and established a successful internship program, bringing local graduates back to serve their community. In conclusion, while the city may accept the overall outcome of the feasibility study, it is important to correct the record. Some of these unsubstantiated claims about the city are seen as an attempt to cast doubt on the city's governance rather than focusing on the key observation of the report, which is that the current structure of the Recreation and Park District is not recommended to continue. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to clarify some of these points, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Viramontes, and thank you for your clarifications. Would any staff or commissioners like to respond at this time? Or if not, I can move forward with public comment.
I have one question.
Sure. Yeah, Commissioner Couch.
It's not of the city manager, but you mentioned the debt of the district. Are you referring to just the unfunded liability of their pension?
It is the unfunded liability of their pension. It is deferred maintenance.
But they don't, do they have any outstanding debt?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Saragosa.
Just going to ask the city manager. Actually, a question for him and a question for Bud. Thank you for that response. Who are the current recreational users of the McFarland Recreation and Parks District?
Primarily McFarland residents.
What about outside of McFarland and or Delano? Are there other users from those areas?
There are some other users, but primarily McFarland.
McFarland? Okay. Do you, Bud, have a map of the district with the boundaries of the city of McFarland and Delano more or less in the same picture?
Yes,
Just curious to see
there you go.
the nexus.
Right.
Oh, where's the cities?
The city is outlined in red. So if you see the red outline,
Right.
okay, that's the city of McFarland. You see the small one up here at the top on Pond Road, that's Delano. Now, I have spoke with Delano, and they will be pursuing for detachment at a later date from McFarland Recreation Park.
And out of curiosity, Delano has their own district, or is it a
They take
separate?
care of all their own.
They have a separate department?
Yeah, they have a rec and park, yes.
Okay.
So that is doubled right there for rec and park. So they will choose to have McFarland Rec and Park detached. They did not realize when they annexed in that was an option.
I see. So the
And
rec,
they're also getting ready to annex an additional property that's gonna be in there too, so they may do
Oh.
both at the same time. No, sorry.
we can't
Tom.
hear you.
Sorry, Tom.
Could you repeat that for the record?
Sure. The city of Delano, up at the top near Pond Road, will choose to detach at a later date. And they are also looking at an annexation in an area right around there that they'll probably do at the same time and detach from McFarland Recreation and Park at that time.
Through the chair, could I ask a real quick question? I don't want to cut you off.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Commissioner Court.
You said detachment. You're talking about annexation of property that's currently with McFarland?
I'm saying that when they annex into the city of Delano, there's an overlying agency that provides the rec and park services, and the city provides them services as well.
Okay.
So when they're contacted, the city will request that a reorganization be performed that detaches the McFarland Rec and Park so that the city can continue them services and the people aren't paying for both.
I see. And how much would that affect the finances?
Not much.
Okay.
Yeah. The area that they are looking at is undeveloped right now.
I see, okay.
So,
Makes
but
sense.
the area that is in right now does have some funds, but it's not significant.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who to direct this question, but what percentage of the Rec and Park District, McFarland Rec and Park District, is in the county area, unincorporated area?
I got that for you.
Yeah, I'm not certain on landmass, but as far as population, 92.6% of the entire district population are city of McFarland residents.
So only a small portion is in the county.
Right, it's a pretty big landmass, however, the actual population, the overwhelming majority resides within the city limits.
Thank you for clarifying. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. So still under public comments portion of the agenda item, is there any other public comment? Sure, yeah, please, yeah, you're welcome. Good afternoon, please state your name.
Hi, my name is Lisa Marquand, and I am a board member of the McFarland Parks and Rec. And I just have a comment. I just wanted to say thank you for the time and effort that was put into the report. And we appreciate all of the information that was given. We're going to take all of that back to the full board and take a real hard look at it and do some work and see what's best for our community members, because that's what we're there for. You know, we volunteer our time and we want to do the best we can for our community. And so whichever direction that is, that's the direction we'll go. So I just wanted to say thank you, and we will do our best to do what you say is right. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Markman. Yeah, sure. Commissioner Fowler.
Don't step away. Could you tell us a little bit more about your board? How many members are there? What terms of office do they have?
If I can remember, there's 5 of us. I've been there, I came on during COVID in 2020. And there was another gentleman that came on right behind me. His name is Francisco. And then the other ones are pretty new. They just came on recently. Tim and Myra is here tonight. And then we have another gentleman named Jim. He was on the board a long time ago, went off the board, and then now has come back on the board to, you know, help us out. And it's nice to have his history to keep us from making the same mistakes, or, you know, he knows those things that had happened, and it's nice to have him there.
And what term of office does each board member serve? How long a term?
We have a 3-year term and a 4-year term. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So, anything else?
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Markman.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other public comment? Yeah, please step forward. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to meet you all. My name is Ryan Chavez. Thank you, Commission, for taking the time to hear me out. I speak as a McFarland high school teacher. I'm also the McFarland tennis coach for boys and girls. I've been involved with McFarland basically since I moved there back in 2006. And I just wanted to make I just came up here to share a couple comments of some things that I've been able to notice and get experience within this last couple of years. Recently, we got to take a trip to Taft and see the Parks and Rec Department, and I was astounded as far as what I saw. I saw an incorporation of city with local businesses. I saw the service from 2 to 9 from a STEAM program for kids to be able to get tutoring afterwards at a highest level of science and engineering. I saw a gym that was super affordable, super high tech, had all the best services available. It had a bowling alley. It had food for the community. It was providing jobs for multiple people. And I'm sitting here in awe. I saw them be able to renovate a old theater and get it up and running for the public. I saw an old pool that was probably older than the Parks and Rec itself, and one of the oldest things here, and it was pristine as far as how it was taken care of, the maintenance and all that. So again, really big shout out to the Parks and Rec and Taft. And what that did at first is keep us in awe. And as we continue to walk this tour, I started wondering what's going on. When I grew up at McFarland, I saw that, we had our pool available, and that was always a fun thing to do. Our pool's been shut down for a long time. We have some of the hottest summers here in Kern County. I'm sure I don't have to share that with all of you. And so to not have that available, we're wondering how can we cool off on that end there. Being a tennis coach, when I was a kid, the tennis courts were open to us. It was a shared responsibility between, I believe, the school district and the Parks and Rec Department. That got shut down. From what my understanding it was due to a liability issue because costs and different things like that. And I don't know what the specifics were, but this is no longer open to the public, where as far as I go to Taft, I go to LAFCo, I go to Delano, and these courts are open to the public on these kind of things. So as a coach, as a person who's trying to build engagement and activity for the youth, I'm wondering what's going on as far as that is. I'm just here because I was so amazed as far as what other districts are doing. Taft really blew me away. Not only that, I was speaking with some of my colleagues. Shafter is getting ready to open up another thing, and we are on a uphill run as far as what I've seen in these last 2-3 years, especially with our new mayor. When I was again younger, we were a city that was shrouded in confusion and darkness and corruption as far as the talk of the town to this day. A lot of times, even when it comes to Parks and Rec, it is, most of our citizens think that is the city. They want to point the fingers at the city and say, what's going on? Why aren't you guys helping us out? And in reality, it wasn't even myself that I didn't realize that they had nothing to do with this. It's completely separate. So I'm just really here to kind of start asking the questions. I realized if somebody doesn't start trying to ask questions, and I'm glad that it sounds like we're already doing on that kind of step, we're never going to move forward. So I appreciate you guys for hearing the time. I'm glad to hear that there are now possible solutions for us to move forward in the right way, especially with the different guidance of different locations. But again, I appreciate you for the time, and just want to let you know that what's going on, and that there is sheer curiosity now from our towns. There is an uprising of engagement and wantingness and willingness to be able to make the right changes on that end there. So I'm glad to hear as well from the Parks and Rec Board that they're also excited to be able to try to move forward so that we can have the future that we deserve here at McFarland. So thank you again for your time. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chavez, for your comments and sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
Ricardo Cano. I heard them say that there was programs in the Parks and Recs, and I have to say that those programs just recently started when questions started to come up. The Parks and Recs were pretty much dead for a while. They had a gym which they shut down from what rumors have happened. That, of course, again, rumors, because we don't really know what's happening out there. They shut the gym because of lack of funding. Gym that was affordable to people that can't afford to pay that $30, $40 a month fee. The pool shut down. There wasn't many events, just soccer, baseball events. And that is an $80 fee for kids, in a low-income community like McFarland. And I think they only get like a shirt. And so some of the kids can't afford that, not every child can afford that. So when you think of programs, when the residents are talking to us, they want a better opportunity, a better town to live in, but they also want more activities for the residents. So all these local, bingo games and events that just recently began. I mean, you can search their Facebook page. It's public, right? So, I'm kind of offended when they say that we can't take it on, that we are weak. We are a strong council in the last 5 years. We have made changes to make a better McFarland for our residents and, of course, for anyone who wants to come. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ricardo, I'm sorry, what was your last name?
Cano, C-A-N-O.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cano. Next speaker.
Good evening, Commissioners. And I'm Beth Cuney at Clifford and Brown, and we do work with the district, and we've got board members and Joanna, who is serving as the interim director for the district here. So they are available to answer questions as well. We do want to thank the Commission for the work that was done. We don't want this to be a tit for tat. I don't want to have to respond to everything that's being said. This is an informational decision that the LAFCo Commission is undertaking. And so we didn't come prepared to go back and forth about the things that are being said that may not be completely accurate. A few things have caught my ear. There has been ongoing programming for the youth. The city operates 4 parks, and there's no youth programming for sports. The Recreation and Park District does indeed offer recreational and sports programming for youth, and that has not just started as a result of all this. That is not accurate. I think all recreation and park districts charge their participants to some degree. They are in turn paying for the coaches, the referees, the umpires. That is a common, and the goal is to keep those costs as low as possible. But there is typically a fee associated. Regarding tennis courts, the tennis courts in McFarland are not under the control of the Recreation and Park District. I would presume those are under the control of the high school, and we can't open those up to the public just because we ask. There was a suggestion that the LAFCO's finding that there is a lack of tension between the entities is false. 2 years ago, I think it was, I was before this commission when the city was attempting to take away some park impact fees from the Recreation and Park District. There has been ongoing difficulty in that relationship. I'm not here to say I think that's a good thing. To the contrary, I wish it were not so, and I wish there were a path forward for the district and the city to cooperatively and collaboratively work together. So far, that has not transpired. And I'm not going to put all the blame on the city, and I'm certainly not putting it on the district, but that has been a difficult relationship. And any suggestion to the contrary is just not accurate. Again, we're not here to address each of the things that the many residents of the city of McFarland have come to discuss, because, again, we understand this to be an informational decision on the part of LAFCo moving forward, which, as Lisa indicated, the district's board was going to, has acknowledged and taken into consideration. But with that, if you have specific questions about the district, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'll defer to Lisa and Joanna and Myra, who are all here this evening, if you have specific questions. But I just wanted the opportunity to say that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Pooney. And Commissioner Gonzalez might have a question.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
I do, and thank you for your comments. And, from my perspective, I'm just trying to better understand what the real status is as we look at the feasibility study. I do have a couple of questions in referencing the document that was provided to the Commission on page 6.
I'm sorry, is that the feasibility study?
The
you're
feasibility
referring-
study,
Okay.
yeah. Page 6, 5A is the financial status, current budget, revenue sources, and expenditures. And unfortunately, the feasibility study wasn't very clear in terms of what the actual revenue and expenses were for the last fiscal year or even the current budget. It does state, though, in 5A that the McFarland Rec and Park financial outlook, that as of the time of the document, that the audits for 23, 24, and 24 and 25 were not available or provided. Are there financial audited documents?
I'm going to defer to Joanna. I believe the answer is yes.
They are going to be approved this August board meeting, the 27th.
And then those will be put on the website.
Okay. And and there was a budget that was recently adopted, correct? And that is on the website as well?
It was, to check, because we had transitions and updates on our website, but that should be on our website. Our budget and our audits will be on our website.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Tom.
Joanna Martinez. I'm the administrative supervisor for the McFarland Parks and Recreation. So our audits have been completed and will be presented at our August 27th board meeting. And the budget will be included in the website along with the audit. And we will also be updating and putting our 25-26 budget.
Great.
And our 24-25 audit has already been submitted, and it's in the process as well.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask that we revise the feasibility study with those documents. The other question I had was for staff. There's a line in here that states, well, I'll just read it. The MRPD budget was passed post June 30th. The deadline for all agencies in California. Their overall budget is slightly more than $1 million. That is not enough to effectively run a recreation and park district of the size of MRPD. It is not surprising that the district is struggling. Help me understand what is enough to effectively run a recreation and park district the size of MRPD.
The budget for LAFCo is $1 million a year. We have no parks to take care of. We have no equipment to take care of other than some computers and an office. They're running 4 parks and trying to put together recreational programs. I don't see how they do it on $1 million. I really don't.
So based on other districts, similar districts, what would be the recommendation for a budget to operate effectively?
Chair, I'm sorry, Chair.
Yeah, sure.
Commissioner Gonzalez, all you have to do is ask Les Clark. He runs the Gold Standard program. he'll tell you what does it consist to run a good program as far as the funding. And it's way less than the McFarland is using.
Another way to answer that is we recently looked at forming a district in Lost Hills, and they had about a $1.1 million budget, and that covered one park. This is 4 parks in a program, and multiple programs. So those kind of comparisons are what I was referring to in my statements.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez. Commissioner Clark?
Yeah, let me say a few things here. First, I tip my cap to the volunteer board members. You know, it's a tough job, you know, and there's no doubt that, you know, your heart's in it for the McFarland citizens, you know, and it's not an easy job, you know, when you take that on. I've been a volunteer as well, and it's not easy. Rec and park districts often run not on a profit and loss, but they run on a cost-benefit analysis, meaning does the benefit outweigh the cost? Oftentimes, the cost is greater than what we bring in. And so that's when you ask for communities to rally around your cause and your benefit, because you realize that the benefit is greater than the cost. The only way to run rec and park districts is for all you folks to go in a room, circle the wagons, and figure it out, as good families do. That's how you run a rec district. And it can't be one person at a table or 2 people at a table, and it can't be your kitchen table versus their kitchen table. It has to be one big table. And you got to ask the greater question. And the greater question is, are we doing what's right for our community? Are we doing what's best for the kids? And knowing and meeting, I haven't met the McFarland folks that are running the rec department, but I've been in the trenches, so I can understand where you're at. I have met a lot of the wonderful community members that have spoke, and I have sat down with Saul. I have a feeling that you all are good people, and you all want the same thing, what's best for kids. What you all need to do is go figure out how to make a playbook that works best for your community, but understanding that parks don't make money. You get money from taxes, and you try to do the best for the community. There's no easy fix, but the matter is you have to get in front of one another, and you got to figure out what's important to y'all, and you got to do it at one big table. I did have a question. I wanted to ask the city manager, and maybe perhaps you would know this, Administrator. Given that 92% of the city's residents are within McFarland city limits, what percentage of that revenue comes from city sources versus county sources?
You want to answer that?
I believe Mr. Knox has those figures. I think he ran those for us.
We have assessed value. City of McFarland assessed value on 4,766 parcels is, am I reading that right? $1,431,770,000.
Yeah.
1.4 billion. City of Delano is 4 million. I'm sorry. That first number was McFarland Rec and Park District, 1.4 million. Yes, billion, sorry. City of Delano is 4 million. City of McFarland is 647 million. And the county is 779 million.
This is the property assessed value.
This is the property assessed value. That doesn't include other revenue sources.
Okay.
But that is, I would say, by far the majority of their funding source.
Okay, so I'm from Ford City, so you're going to have to talk slow. What
Mayday,
percentage, county versus city? You gave me a bunch of numbers, but Tell me what percentage.
54% of it, of the assessed value, is in the county.
Okay. So 92% of the city residents, but 54% of the funds, it comes from the county.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a little different than 92% of the residents, but so that's important to note, because that's a challenge that y'all are going to have to come up with, because the city versus the county, that's the big reason that you get funded. I know that the fight, and I don't want to talk politics in here, and I'm not going to. I'm going to talk facts. How much ERAF funds come from McFarland? Do we know that number, ERAF? I'm wanting to say.
Close to 300,000.
So $300,000 a year comes from Educational Relief Fund Act. That's a problem. It's not staying with McFarland Rec and Park District. You need to start looking at those funding sources, but then there's a bigger table to sit at. And the bigger table is, and we were talking about it before, the bigger table to sit at is the special districts table. I hadn't seen any of y'all at the table. We need to get to the table together, because there's a fight that we can collaborate together on. And that's making sure that rec and parks are deemed essential. If you guys have some rocks to throw in the water, you need to start expanding that and coming to places like ours so we can fight the fight together, because I feel the pain from the McFarland residents. Our community's going through it right now. And we're trying to figure out how to X the dot the I's and cross the T's as well. But our community is sitting at the big table. We need to do it more. But I empathize with all of you, and we're here to help. When I say we're, I'm not talking about LAFCo. I'm talking about the Rec and Park District. We have our challenges. We have a gold standard, but the benefit outweighs the cost. And so I wish you the best of luck. I really do. But I think that, you got to get in a room. You got to talk about facts, because figures aren't always facts when you talk about it holistically.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. Commissioner Saragosa?
About 4 o'clock today, LAFCo just more or less almost finalized their first strategic plan. And the purpose was to identify the mission, goals, and objectives, and maybe look at how we're going to fund those items over a 12-month period. It was an interesting exercise. We were all at the table, and we all gave comments. So a question for the city and the Park District: does the city have a general plan that's been certified with a recreational component? And does the Park District have a strategic plan for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, which involves budgeting, programming with key performance indicators? If not, then you're you're not really working off the same page. And I think Commissioner Clark hit it on the head. You got to be talking the same thing. And if you don't have a plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to lose. Basically, plan to fail. So,
Commissioner Zaragoza, we
Yes.
do have a plan, and our city manager could explain that in detail.
Thank you.
And I'm going to get to my comments, and you'll be well informed and educated about what the city has done in the last couple months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Diego, do you want just?
Yeah, the city just routinely updates their general plan, and it does have that recreational component. I don't have the last update of it, but every 5 to 10 years, we do a routine update of that general plan. So that's standard practice for us.
Okay, thank you. So we're still under public comment. Is there further public comment from the audience?
So the master plan is we are working on, we were going to have our first public meeting in July. Our general manager has since retired. We're working with Fresno to alleviate the cost. We used to, back a while when we first did our first one, was with MIG, I believe. So we're working on that, making sure that we listen to the community. What is it that they need? Where can we obtain money from? What other resources can we tap into? Unfortunately, I've been with the Park and Rec for 21 years. I came in when ERAF had taken over most of the special district money, and I came in right when they were slowly picking up. So I only got to view the high of it. I never got to see the low. Now we're going down. Like any other program or any other activity that the county, cities faces, sometimes you have a lot of revenue in businesses, sometimes they go down. You know, we're seeing a lot of Rite Aids close and a bunch of other different stores in our towns and our community. I think years back before my time, there used to be a laundromat, car wash, dry cleaners, just a different type of businesses in McFarland that we don't have anymore. But thankfully now we're slowly going back there and growing. With the same thing with the Parks and Recs, we do service a lot of Delano, Shafter, Wasco community members that either come for baseball, basketball. Right now our program is running basketball, and I think a basketball coach went in there and said, man, these are a lot of Delano kids that we're helping and not enough McFarland kids. That's the trend right now. We don't have a lot of McFarland kids signing up because they're doing other sports, but come out for baseball, and we have a fair amount of kids showing up from McFarland and Delano, Shafter, and Wasco. They like to come over, compete, learn from every program, and then bring it into their own cities. A lot of the times Delano Rec works with us and asks how we run our programs, and we do with other special districts in that matter. Our program coordinators get together. Back then we used to have a lot more staff, and we've cut down from not so long ago from 9 staff to 6 of us. So we're trying to make cuts, make sure. Man, I think 20-something years ago, our fees were probably $35, and we're charging $65 right now. We included a late fee because we're always late, and sometimes that makes our programs delayed. So now we've included a late fee, and even then, sometimes we're having parents wanting to pay that late fee. We're still way under the cost of our surrounding areas. We can see areas 110. There's no way that our community kids can pay that. Do we need more resources? Yes, our programs do offer. For basketball, they get a jersey. For baseball, we do charge $85, and they get a cap, a shirt, and socks. And we have to make the money work some way or another, right? Because we want to be able to be affordable for all of our kids. We do offer Zumba. We don't have an instructor, but we rent the room at a low cost so they can come and teach Zumba, and they collect. We have people going out there. We are working with an agency that is going to look into sponsoring that, so it could be more open and free for the community. But at the same time now we have to consider, can they give us a little extra so we could pay for the rental, which is the electricity and the water usage, and somebody that come and open and close and benefit for the instructor, right? Some income for the instructor. We also have, we're looking into our sponsors. Back 20 years ago, we used to have sponsors for each team, you know, our baseball teams, and I'm sure the community remembers this. They have, you know, Kern Avenue Pharmacy, Palace Market back then. Now we have to go back into that. I can't tell you why that kind of died down. It almost seemed like if we didn't have it for the whole team, not everybody we were just not going to do away with it. But recently I've had several people that have came to me and said, we're willing to sponsor a team, reach out. So all they're asking is for their name to be put on the shirt. That doesn't cost that much. Is it going to leave us extra money? No, but it'll help alleviate the cost of not increasing it for our community members, and help pay for probably a ref or an ump, you know, something to that extent. What else can I tell you guys? I mean, we're trying. There's unfortunately,
No, thank you.
the expenses are a lot bigger.
No, thank you for insight into the operations and what your district is facing, and thank you with your questions with respect to the strategic plan for both organizations. So thank you. Is there any other public comment with respect to the feasibility plan? Please step forward.
I did have a real quick question through the chair, if that's
Sure.
okay. You mentioned out-of-district folks. Are you charging out-of-district fees?
We're not charging out-of-district fees. That's something we charge out-of-district fees for rentals, but not for sports, because a lot of the times we notice that Mr. Cano will come and sign up his kids and bring his nephews and use their, not necessarily him as an example, okay? and use them to, sign up so they could get a better
You don't have
rate.
to explain. A yes or
Yeah.
no is sufficient.
Sorry.
So my other question, you mentioned something about Fresno helping you.
Yes, Fresno University is going to be helping us with our master plan, and we're going to be doing our strategic plans. We've started our strategic plans already this past year. We're going to have an updated master plan, and they're going to be helping us out. They have a department that looks into, and it's part of their hours and research that they do for a program that I believe the governmental agency department.
Yeah.
I don't know the name exactly.
I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, just from the little bit of time that I've been graced with the mayor's presence, I would get with him. I mean, gosh darn it, just an unbelievable vision, for your community. But anyways, that's my personal opinion.
We did. I think at the beginning of the month, him and I had a conversation, and we didn't know what the LAFCo decision was going to be. But in our conversation, and he may recall this, I told him, whatever the decision is, the end goal is to make sure
I
that
think
the rec is
you might
running.
find out we have very limited decision.
Right. Oh, I think you can.
Put people at ease here.
No, but I think we're able to communicate and we had a good conversation. We talked about, at the end of the day, we want the best for the community, right? The best for the rec, the best for the city. Let me do what I know how to do and give you, if the rec ends up being at the city, give it to you in a working progress of what I knew the essence of the Parks and Rec. So I think that's something that we agreed on. Whatever negativity is going on, let's be supportive of each other. We support your events, continue to support us, and let's work together. I think at the end of the day, those are some things we talked about. A movie night that Supervisor Couch was going to be sponsoring in September. Don't forget. We talked about different ideas. The goal is whoever stays, it has to be running. It's still going to be there. Let's make it work. So let's work together. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. So still under public comment. Next speaker. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissions. Victor Oropeza, resident of McFarland. All I got to say is thank you guys for your time, for the information that was provided. Hopefully we take from this and, see where we move forward. But I wanted to just say that the city of McFarland has come a long way. All right, if we go back 5 years, we realize I'm a resident, lived there all my life, 30 years, and we're finally getting stuff done. So I'm glad to hear that the Park and Rec is finally putting their numbers out there. Okay, and that's the problem, why does it have to take this to start being more productive? Okay, so it takes time, and we know it takes time. The city took four years, and now we're going. Now we're gonna hold the Park and Rec accountable. Let's get this going, okay? Because we're a small town not to be united and progress. We have to. I had a meeting with them, and I went and I go, like I tell them, this is me. Growing up, the Park and Rec had the swimming pool, had one full week. It was on a Saturday. It was after a softball team league or the baseball league. Gary would throw a barbecue, trophies, swimming pool open for all the kids, everybody, big awards. My daughter played not that long ago, and all they did was behind the concession stand, just put a table and gave them a slice of pizza. To me, as a resident of McFarland, I look at that and I'm like, I remember the good days. Where did we go wrong? Did the numbers don't lie in my eyes. So what happened? I just want to know what happened. Okay, in this time frame, where did we lose? And now that the numbers are going to come out, now we can sit there and look. Because before we would ask and there was nothing available. So thanks to your guys' information, now things are and now we can hold accountability. And like the chairman said, now we can come together and talk. Okay? And thank you guys for uniting it, because it's coming together, okay? Now we got clarity of numbers, we got an opinion and something to go with, The Park and Rec is here, is on board. The community's here, and we're going to see where we go from here. I just wanted to thank you guys for that.
Thank you, Mr. Opeza. Appreciate your comments, and you guys will have some options, so thank you. Next speaker.
Jim White from McFarland, longtime resident.
Welcome.
Longer than you, Victor. Been there since 61 years. Seen a lot of changes. I used to work with the recreation, and before it became a county recreation. You said it happened in 75? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
75? Well, that
Yes.
it's after my time. But we used to have a lot of programs for the kids, even starting in 75. We no longer have those programs that we used to have. So what I'm saying is, I'm going on Victor's statement, how come all of this has happened over and over and over? We don't have the senior citizen program. We don't have the, the skills fund for the kids. We don't have the weightlifting programs, stuff that we used to have, open here and open there. Well, you can use a gym, but it's going to cost you $125 an hour or something like that, even to use a little volleyball group that wants to come in and practice with a volleyball. So we don't have these things. Yes, we want to work with them. We want the best for the recreation, and we want to work together. But it hasn't been transparent. We've been to meetings, and I haven't even seen anything on finances or anything. It hasn't been very transparent, and that's what we want, some transparency. We want to know what's going on so we can try to help benefit the whole community. And I feel like sometimes we're not getting that. We're not getting that at all, and that's exactly what we need. So thank you for your info, and we'll see you Saturday. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Soto. As a resident of McFarland, my deep concern of the Park and Recs is for the past years, the rec department has been mismanaged, running a deficit while failing to provide programs and services that many of us benefited as teenagers. We no longer have a pool, fun skills, and a weight room. The Park and Rec administration and board members have done a disservice to our community, and they should be held accountable and removed from their positions. The residents of McFarland deserve a better city. The city is stepping up because the mayor uncovered the mismanagement that led to this situation. So where do we go from here, commissioners? We need a change for a better McFarland. So it's all in your hands, and hopefully you guys do what's right. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm the vice chair for the next few minutes, who will be chairing the meeting. Are there any more public comments on the issue, especially from the public? Please come to the podium and identify yourself. Thank you. Speak into the microphone so we can record this. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Cristina Aguilar,
Good afternoon. My name is Cristina Aguilar.
residente de McFarland desde hace 20 años.
I've been a resident of McFarland for 20 years.
Anteriormente no está mucho involucrada en lo que es las actividades de la ciudad.
Previously, I was not that involved in city activities.
Formamos un grupo anteriormente
We previously formed a group,
y ayudábamos a las comunidades, a otras organizaciones,
and we would help communities and other organizations.
porque nos gustaría ayudar más a nuestra comunidad.
We would like to be able to better help our communities.
Actualmente soy voluntaria con Mujeres Activas Líderes Comunitarias.
I'm actually a volunteer with Mujeres Libres
Líderes
Comunitarias.
Comunitarias.
Líderes.
Líderes Comunitarias.
Comunitarias.
Me gustó el nombre porque realmente las mujeres pueden.
¿Por la qué?
Me gustó el nombre
¿Por qué?
porque realmente las mujeres pueden.
I like that name because in reality women can do it.
Sí se puede, ¿no?
Yes, we
Mi-
can.
sí, entonces estuvimos más involucradas ahora
So now we're more involved
por la mucha ayuda que queremos dar al pueblo.
due to the help we want to give to the city.
El valor es nuestro tiempo.
Our time is valuable.
Hemos visto también
We have also seen
las mejoras que se han hecho, pues gracias al alcalde,
improvements that thanks to our mayor have come
porque están a la disposición
because they are at the disposition
de poder resolver ¿cómo se dice? De poder resolver algunas situación.
to be able to resolve the situation.
Pues mi respeto también para parques y recreaciones, porque
My
hemos tenido
respect.
también actividades con ellos que nos han invitado.
Parks and Recreation, 'cause we've been invited to their activities.
Y también con parte de la ciudad estamos trabajando también ayudando a los dos.
And also on behalf of the city, we're working to help both sides, or both.
Y pienso que porque una amistad
I believe that a friendship
nos debe de unir
should unite us
más en el pueblo, como pueblo.
more as a city.
No debe de haber mucha enemistad.
There should not be so much animosity.
Estamos actualmente en el jardín comunitario.
We are actually at a community garden.
También involucramos a más personas
We also involve more people.
que quieren ayudar.
They also want to help.
Aquí no sé qué más quieres decir.
No, pues, a ver.
Su nombre.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Araceli Jacinto
My name is Araceli Jacinto.
y pues nada más vengo a presumir que ya tenemos un jardín comunitario en McFarland
I'm here to show off that we now have
Y
a community
que-
garden in McFarland.
y que toda la comunidad está muy contenta.
The entire community is happy about it.
Ya miramos mucha gente hacer ejercicio, a correr por el jardín.
We've seen many people exercising in the garden.
Ya estamos levantando las cosechas también.
We're getting ready to harvest also.
Y pues a mí me da mucho gusto que cuando me miran en la calle me dicen que soy de la organización de las mujeres activas porque
I get happy when people see me on the street and they recognize me as a member of the
mujeres activas,
Mujeres Activas,
líderes comunitarias.
líderes comunitarias.
Y pues les digo que sí, y sí, andamos ayudando a iglesias también cuando reparten comida.
Yes, we also help with the churches during food drives.
Y pues estamos contentas y gracias al alcalde que nos ayudó
Thanks to our mayor who helped us.
a poder hacer nuestra organización, a
He
Diego,
helped us
a todos que
form
los.
our organization, Diego, everyone.
Y pues gracias, hay muchas cosas que quisiéramos decirles, pero sabemos que esta junta se tiene que acabar y
There
pues
are many things we would like to tell you, but I realize that this meeting must come to an end.
sí. Y pues apenas estamos empezando y vamos a empezar a tocar puertas a que nos ayuden
We're just
para hacer
getting
nuestras
started.
actividades.
We're going to be knocking on doors, get help for people to help us with our activities.
Están invitados en octubre, el 23 y 24, vamos a tener nuestro evento de las calabazas, ¿cómo se dice? Harvest Festival.
Okay.
Sí.
You're all invited on 23rd and 24th of October. We're having our Harvest Festival with the pumpkins.
Es nuestro segundo año ya que lo vamos a hacer,
This will be
gracias
our
a Dios.
second year. Thank God, this will be our second year.
Y pues ya es todo, gracias. ¿Una pregunta?
Any questions?
Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Jacinto. Still continue with public comment. Next speaker. Great comments, and thank you all for your passion and for your betterment of McFarland. I think that everyone, irrespective of what position they're on, believes in the betterment of your city, so thank you. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back to commissioner comments at this time.
Chair, may I?
Sure, yes. Go ahead, Commissioner Ayon.
I want to illustrate what the Parks and Rec, or I want to clarify what the Parks and Rec attorney said earlier, as far as having a negative impact between the parks and the city. There's issues going on where the Parks and Rec, on as far as the impact fees, they were paid twice, but we're not here for that. But I just want to clarify that, and there was money owed to the city. But just to make that transparent. I want to disagree with you, Blair, as far as your feasibility study in regards to the negative impact. This ain't a city impact, it's a community impact. For the last 4-5 years, a lot of the residents in the city of McFarland have come to me or Vice Mayor Cano and said, what's going on with our Parks and Rec? What's going on with the pool? Here's the situation. Nobody wants to be the bad guy, right? So I approached the Parks and Rec a couple years ago, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's going on with our pool? What's going on for different things? And simple questions weren't answered. Their agendas were very elementary, one page, and that's been. I mean, if you go back and log in, you would see that. Ms. Martinez made a good comment, and I'm glad she said, a lot of the McFarland kids are not participating in McFarland, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason they're not participating in McFarland is because in programs, the sports activities, their age groups are 5 to 10, 12, and they're playing together. What parent will want to see their 5-year-old play against a 12-year-old in flag football? Basketball, you got kindergarten to like second grade or first grade, third grade. Second, third graders are not going to pass the ball to kindergartners. So do you understand? I have parents coming to me at the park saying, I'm not going to sign my kids up. I'm going to take them to Delano or elsewhere because due to the fact of the age groups. It's a simple fix. Regardless, and when I asked that question, they told me, oh, we use this formula. And I'm like, hold on. I don't care if you play somebody 4 or 5 times a season, but it's got to be the same age group. So a lot of these things, a lot of these small hanging fruits weren't being addressed. And so I'll tell residents, you need to go to their board meetings and express that. So here we are again. 6 months ago, I teach at the high school. All the kids, they think that the city's in charge of the Parks and Rec. And so they're like, why don't we have a swim pool? And I'm like, it's a special district. And you can't believe how many times I have to say that. And now now that we did a presentation and we explained it to the residents, because we do live streams, we are transparent. We are telling people where their funding's going, where's it coming in from, and where the expenses are also going. So Mr. Commissioner Clark brought a good, he made a good comment about bringing everybody to the table. We tried to do a joint meeting prior to this and said, hey, you guys let me just ask you this, Blair. Unfunded liability, what is the number that's owed?
For CalPERS, I believe it's 1.7 million.
Thank you for clarifying that, 1.7 million. How do you expect a Parks and Rec to get to continue to bring new programs and bring other stuff when they're losing ERAF, when they're losing other funding, and they don't have no other mechanism to bring funding? And this is why you made that recommendation, correct?
In part, yes.
Okay. So let's just call a spade a spade. This is the problem that I'm having and a lot of residents. When I asked them, let's partner up, let's work together, only one of their members showed up to that meeting. No board member, no elected member showed up. One person showed up, and that was Joanne. And to me, that just told me that they didn't want to partner up with the city. I met with a couple of them, and it was just to bring this together. Who wants to throw their dirty laundry out to the county, right? But enough is enough. These residents deserve better. So I want to make some point as far as your feasibility study. I've been called a lot of things, but I've never been called weak. So we need to fix that. So I just want to state this for the record. Obviously, our city manager, I do have a vote. It's not like Bakersfield where the mayor doesn't have a vote, and it's a 4-person council but a mayor. The admissions, as far as the recreation issues, this study also fails to acknowledge the long-term mismanagement within our Parks and Rec district. I'm glad that Commissioner Gonzalez asked those budget questions and a revisal as far as the audits and everything. That needs to be clarified in this study. But for over the last 10 years, the leadership, the former director that all of a sudden resigned or retired and left this city in a financial burden and debt while losing many community programs. The elected board needed to ask those hard questions. They needed to ask why are we in a deficit, or why are we losing these programs? And I do appreciate that they volunteer their time. But if you're going to volunteer your time, you got to make those hard decisions, those hard questions, because if not, this is the situation we end up with. And I brought this earlier when we had that meeting, is how do we hold special districts accountable? How, and I agree with Les, Parks and Rec are essential to every community. I want to, as a result, today we lack the essential recreational opportunities such as a community pool, a senior citizen, life skills for kids, and other initiatives. I did a quick survey for the students I have in my classes. I have 142 students. It was 92 students that don't know how to swim from the ages of 14 to 17. Tell me, is that not a basic need? And so this is where my challenge comes to everybody. In the city of McFarland, I was a Parks and Rec kid. And like a lot of these individuals, I traveled across the bridge. We didn't have much to do, but we had that, and we've lost that. I want to address that we need to move on this instead of, I don't want to say politicking, arguing, or doing any of this other nonsense, because it's affecting all the communities. You could think what you want to think about me, but at the end of the day, I'm committed to our community. I'm driven, and I've taken other people to other cities, and I'll give Les Clark and his staff the gold standard for the parks. I even tried to tell our Board of Supervisors Couch, and he didn't want any of the credit for the unbelievable programs they have there with the creativeness of Mr. Clark's and his staff's ambition to make it better. And for me, that's where it comes, where your board members hold the staff accountable, and when the decisions need to be made, they're made. And that's what we do with their city now. We're not perfect. I'm still making mistakes. We're still making mistakes, but we're addressing the basic services for all of our residents. So with that, I would like to add is this feasibility study definitely needs to be corrected. You need to take out that weak mayor stuff, and put the accurate facts about our city governance and the honest assessment of the Parks and Recreation. Without that, the study is incomplete and misleading to all the decision makers and the public. So for the next meeting, I request a revised version that reflects on the truth, how the city government and services are being run, and where they're failing, so we can build a more sustainable and accountable future for all McFarland residents. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And thank you for that clarification. And so essentially, you're a strong mayor form of government. Okay.
No.
Well,
No.
what's going to be corrected?
Yeah.
There's two, as far as I know, there's two kinds of city government, council manager and strong mayor. Strong mayor is one that hires and fires department heads.
Correct.
That's not, their council manager form of government, but he has a vote.
Oh, okay, so you're,
And 5 members.
Just
4
take the
council-
weak portion out.
got it, okay. Okay, got it.
You could put other adjectives you want, Blair, I'm good.
Got it.
Commissioner Couch is actually hit what I was trying to say, but probably said poorly. That there is a form of city government where the mayor actually is the general manager of the city and operates departments and that's not what you are.
So it's council manager, but he gets a vote.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's probably halfway in between a weak like
Not
a,
strong
like
mayor,
a,
not
like
strong
a,
mayor.
It's not strong mayor, but it's not a weak mayor like City of Bakersfield either.
Yeah, that's a structural adjective, not a, yeah, that's not a, yeah. Character. Okay, all right, thank you. So, any other commissioner comments?
Yes.
Sure, Commissioner Clark.
So feasibility and feasibility study are two different things. Feasibility study would indicate that the pool costs this and you have this to run it. So I think it's important to understand, okay, they get $1 million, it's not feasible to run a rec department. How much does it cost for these individual things? I think it's important to, to put the feasibility study together because you have to be transparent with your community. You have to let them know, what things cost, so then they can understand how to overcome some of those obstacles. And again, it's a cost-benefit analysis. You run a pool, you have 5 lifeguards on the deck, 6 lifeguards on the deck at $20 an hour. How much can your kids afford to get in and pay to use the pool? Probably $2. That's what we charge in Taft. So in any given day, a good day, you get 100 kids in the pool. 100 times 2 is 200. You put 5 lifeguards on the deck, it's $400 if you run a 4-hour pool. That's not feasible. So you have to come up with that, and then you have to tell your community, and then at that point, your community says, hey, we'll come up with extra cost. And that's how that works. So you got to stand up and say, let's go around, and I don't want to take a whole lot of time. I've told a couple people this feels like a city council member meeting, and it brings back rough memories of when I was on the city council, but it's good memories. Anyways, they are. Yeah, they are. The key is that you have to look at everything in totality, and you have to find out what everything costs. And if you can get together and figure that out, then that's a feasibility study. And you have to be transparent about your costs. And I think that that would help you guys out tremendously. I lost my train of thought thinking about the city council member stuff. So, anyways, that's my comments. I think that there needs to be some layers in the feasibility study of, okay, well, $1 million, they can't afford it to run a rec department. What does that mean? What are the programs that are currently there? How much does it cost? And is that what the city of McFarland wants? And you're going to probably figure out a game plan from there. That's just my thoughts.
Thank you, Commissioner Clark. And a lot of wisdom there since you've worn both hats as a Parks and Rec and City Council. So thank you for your advice, Commissioner Yoon.
Go ahead, Vince.
Go ahead, Commissioner Joseph. Sorry.
There's 2 parts to this that I'm not sure. One part is, what's the next step? Is there a solution? I don't know. But I just wanted to say, I agree that a city or neighborhood cannot be a healthy city or neighborhood without rec and park programs. It is not feasible. Based on what I'm seeing, I've been working as a urban planner for many years. When we were doing rec and park activities, there's a lot of things that these programs do that affect the health and welfare of these families. Without that, you're going to have ongoing medical or healthy issues with the population. You need a place where kids, I can't believe how many people can't swim, but to me, that's serious because...
That's just off 150 students. We have 1,100.
Yeah. To me, that's a life skill you have to have. And so, and then other things, just basically, I think someone said that in Kern County, obesity is an issue, especially for adults. I'm raising my hand. I don't know how it is for kids, and maybe somebody would tell me that, but I would imagine at some point we're going to find out because I believe there's going to be a presidential declaration that all kids be tested for ability to be physically active. Certain tests will be in place. Like when I was going to school, I remember taking those tests. So we're going to see the BMI of all kids and see how Kern County and cities like McFarland prevail. So we need to be on the same page to provide these services, because little guys from kindergarten all the way to high school need that. Because once you reach a certain age, if you haven't learned those life skills, it's going to be hard. It's going to affect your adulthood and your health. That's my only point. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ayon.
Yeah, I just want to finish off, Blair, if you could make those changes to this feasibility study as far as the accurate numbers, and then therefore, or the option, obviously it's informational for commissioners, not to obviously vote on it or just accept it or just bring it back with the added changes or accept it now. So what would your recommendation be?
Two things here. This is an informational item, so there isn't any acceptance by the commission. There's no vote taken on it tonight. I am happy to take the comments from the city, the written comments that were referenced by Diego, your city manager. If the Rec and Park District also wants to provide written comments, I'm happy to take those too and revise it and bring it back next meeting.
Okay, sounds good. And just, I want to add that we have a lot of community members here, plus the Parks and Rec, and our goal is to bring those services to our community soon. Not 5 years from now, but soon. And we need to start working on this now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, and waiting for this study to happen. We knew what the numbers were. Numbers don't lie. So, but thank you for clarifying the financial debt and everything else that's been addressed in this study. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
Chair?
Commissioner Couch.
I just want to make maybe one comment, and then I want to ask a question. All of you know a young man that works for me named Jesse Jesus Perez. He's an expert on ERAF. And those of you that don't know what ERAF is, somebody last mentioned it earlier. Jesse's made it his life's mission, I think, to do something about ERAF. But most of you are too young to know this, but what year did it pass? 95? 91. Okay. Educational Revenue Augmentation Fund is what ERAF stands for. It was a fancy word and a fancy way of taking money from cities, counties, and special districts and shifting it to education, to schools. They didn't create any new revenue stream, they just took money from your communities, the county, the city, any special district. And according to my number cruncher in the office, McFarland Park and Rec District has lost out on, since 1993 through 2023, so 30 years, about $12 million. Probably started out pretty low in the beginning, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars a year now. So could things have been done better at the district? Probably. We could say that about anything, anywhere. But one of the biggest problems that the district has, like any other district in any other city and any other county, is the ERAF shift has put a big burden on the ability for you all to provide the services that you have been charged with providing. So you're in a difficult spot. I've been sitting over here a little bit like a potted plant, just listening, and so I don't want to just be a bystander. The county only has 7.5% of the population that's served by the district, but there is 50-something% of the money generated from property tax revenue. So what's the role for the county to play in this process? Because I want to be helpful, but I don't want to jump in or be involved where
I got a
we're not
suggestion.
needed.
They could pay the debt.
Let's continue to talk.
I think it's really a conversation between the city and the county on the tax split between what portion of property tax goes to the city, what portion goes to the Rec and Park District. You also have services that are in there that are part of, fire contract with cities. None of these things happen in a vacuum, right?
When was the last time McFarland Park and Rec District did the district, not the city, did an annexation? And enlarged the district? Well, and let me back up and say it this way. There's not a line item on the property tax bill if you live in the district. It's just a portion of your property tax goes to the district. Is that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So a property that would be annexed into the McFarland Park and Rec District would increase the revenue to the district, but it wouldn't cost the property owner any more than they're already paying. Is that right?
Correct.
When's the last time an annexation was applied for by the district?
Never.
Is that something they should look at? If you're going to try to become sustainable, whether in whatever form it takes down the road. I don't know if they abut other districts or cities.
They abut Wasco Rec and Park District. They abut the city of Delano. In fact, they overlap a bit with the city of Delano. That's what Bud was referring to
Can
earlier.
they only go east?
They can't go south, NOR's south.
NORs to the south of them? Okay, so yeah, Shafter and NOR are to the south, and so yeah, apparently east is the only direction to go.
We probably need to sit down we all need to sit down and take a look at that.
Good.
Going forward. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but it's an idea.
I agree. I 100% agree. Could you add that as an addendum to your feasibility study?
Sure.
This way, give some hard numbers for the county and McFarland and the district. Thank you.
Commissioner Couch, it's not a bad idea if the county's gonna help pay for that financial debt, so just wanna add that again.
You keep bringing that up.
I know. Maybe it'll stick.
Thank you.
I see. Chair Flores looking at me like.
So, I mean, you have good passion. I don't know if I like that idea, but you have good passion. I would make a motion the city of McFarland pay the debt. Here we go. No. Teasing. It's all good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you. I think Mayor Ayllón has definitely demonstrated he's not weak, and so we appreciate your, tenacity there.
Yes.
I do want to underscore the point I was making earlier in that I do believe that for this feasibility study we need to include those financial reports that are being produced along with the budget, and then there's another question I have regarding existing debt. I think another commissioner asked the question. What additional debt exists beyond the unfunded liability for the defined benefit CalPERS, I think.
Yes.
And so beyond that, is there any additional debt?
What I was referring to as additional debt is the pool that needs to be replaced, and I've been told numbers around 15 million to replace that. You've got
So maybe-
facilities where HVAC systems aren't working properly, those types of things.
So that was going to be my next point, is that we include the deferred maintenance list as an addendum to the report as well, so that we can kind of get a sense of what the real scope is there. And then finally, I don't want us to leave here without this body recognizing all the people who participated in tonight's meeting. It's wonderful to see so many community members from McFarland here in downtown Bakersfield. It definitely shows your commitment to the community of McFarland, and it's wonderful to see. So my deep appreciation to all of you. I wrote down, there's just 3 basic questions here. Should McFarland have recreation of parks? And I think Commissioner Zaragoza answered that question for all of us. I think we all believe that, but you being here today has answered that question as well. The second question is, how do you get there? And maybe that's a broader question for the community, as Commissioner Clark has pointed out, to continue that collaborative spirit and working together to answer that question along with the county. I think for this body, the real specific question is the Rec and Park District truly sustainable? And can it sustain itself over time? And I just feel like I need some more data in that feasibility study in order to really make that determination for my part. And so I would underscore the mayor's, Commissioner Ayllón's referral tonight. And let's do some more analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez. Great questions and comments. Next. Oh,
Can I finish
Mr.
off
Knox, yes.
with two comments? One, I want to bring this back to the beginning. We have an application from the city of McFarland that we're going to have to sit down with staff and the mayor to address whether we're going to move forward with that application or not. And the last thing is, to Commissioner Gonzalez's point, I now have an expert on my staff on rec and park finances. I'm going to start utilizing that. Sorry, I just threw her under the bus. This is only her second day. MSR Slayer, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I will run some of that by her, and we will work on shoring up those numbers.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Knox, irrespective of the numbers, whether they're mid, low, or climbing, what's most important is what are the legalities moving forward? What can, what can't we do? I really want to manage expectations.
Yes.
And I know you gave us a treatment of this now, but let's emphasize what are the true legalities of the actions that LAFCo can take and can't take.
Okay.
Commissioner Fowler.
I also want to acknowledge the attendance of the people from McFarland, and we see passion on different levels, but I know you all feel it. You may not all be Commissioner Ione, but I know inside you burn for the families and the children in your community. And if you remember Knights of the Round Table, it was a round table where everyone sat, equal position, and I think there's something to be said about looking for the future. You recognize errors of the past, problems of the past, but once you get your financial understanding in order, and you can, start thinking about what you would really like to do for your community, and then that cooperation and collaboration will come. And I just wish you all well, because I think something good's going to come out of this. I appreciate what staff has done, and I really have a good feeling about tonight that I think maybe a breakthrough has happened, and good for you all for being here and doing this.
Thank you. Thank you. Well stated. Commissioner McKibben.
Yes, when I first got on my board, it was this special district board, I found it to be a civic lesson. And I've been here for 10 years on LAFCo, and it's a civic lesson. And this was certainly a civic lesson on steroids.
He's on today.
Got me on the water.
Chair, one last comment. I would like to thank all the residents that traveled from McFarland, volunteering their time. I want to thank the commissioners. Even though, Blair, you made those comments on the physical study, I'll hold it against you. But Tom, we need to talk about him soon. Yeah. But no, I just want to thank everybody, and thanks. And I just want to bring this to the light so that all our residents know what's going on in the community. And I just want to finish off. The last 5 years, a lot of people want to give me credit, but it's not. And we have a good council. We have a good city administration. We've been able to be fiscally responsible. We've been able to get some grants. And when we get grants, we've been delivering. And that's what I want to leave off with. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Ione. Okay, I think that wraps up that item. So we'll move on to D, Executive Officer, miscellaneous items. Do you have an executive report?
I do. I got a couple items. Sure. I would like to make a request to consider changing the January 2026 commission meeting date. My family is planning a celebration of my mother's 90th birthday in January. We're trying to get all the family together, which doesn't happen very often, and as I've got relatives all over the country. The reason I'm bringing this to the commission's attention is that the celebration will require me to be out of the state the third Wednesday in January. Same time as when we would normally schedule our meetings. We haven't scheduled them yet. Our schedule actually comes out. I will bring that to the commission in November, but I got some planning I need to do with my family. So My request to the commission is whether you can find it on your schedule and in your hearts to tentatively move the meeting to the fourth Wednesday of January of 2026. And if I need to lay it on a little thicker, I haven't missed or asked to reschedule a meeting in 9 years. And I don't know how many more times all my family will be together with my mom. So if that's something that we can work out, I would really love to spend time with her and do that.
Sure.
Special time for
Sure,
her.
that
She's not
works.
going to like the fact that I used her birth, how old she is, but if it means her son gets to come, I think she'll be okay with it.
So do you, can I ask, do you want it to be on the 28th instead of the 21st?
Yes.
Okay.
Works for me. Any comments? Good son, you're a good son.
Okay.
And a good director.
Thank you.
Second that.
I continue to follow the state legislation as the state legislature is the biggest threat to LAFCo. Two bills in particular are important. I believe I shared with the commission that there's a bill that would require LAFCo to place a defunct private cemetery with a local government agency to operate and manage. This bill has been turned into a study bill, which is a good thing. The second bill is SB 707 by Durazo, a bill that significantly modifies the Brown Act. I think that was brought up earlier, requiring two-way telephonic or audiovisual access to all meetings, which we already have. Public comment equality, meaning equal time given to in-person attendees as well as those online. Here's where it starts to get fun. Language accessibility. Agendas must be translated into applicable languages spoken by 20% plus of the local population with limited English proficiencies, which means our agendas will all have to be done in Spanish as well as English. I don't know how to do that yet. Agencies must allow public interpretation during meetings and provide space equipment if needed, as we did tonight. Dedicated public meeting webpage with translation of content and must make reasonable efforts to engage underrepresented communities and media outlets. So that's something that I want you to be aware of that is potentially coming our way. I'm going to skip that. Talk a little bit about some projects I've been working on, just so you know how busy things are with our office. And this is a partial list that goes beyond what we do with our regular annexations and proceedings. I'm working with Kern CSD and Indian Wells Valley Water District on a voluntary water consolidation that was requested by the State Water Board. This is the first step into a mandatory consolidation that the state can request. LAFCo's right in the middle of that. One of the interesting things about this is the CSD provides water, sewer, and street lights, and the water district just provides water. And so consolidating just the water part, which is the part that the water board cares about, would leave even a small district even smaller with really not the assets to move forward. So we're going to have to work very closely with them to work something out. Working on a dissolution of a CSD up near Lake Isabella. Working on the formation of a new water district, which has been in the works for several years. And dissolution of a stormwater district, which Commissioner Couch and I need to have a conversation about again. I know he's sick of me hearing from me.
Yeah, he was done. Not done, I thought it was, the path forward had been decided.
There's two paths forward that we can take on this is Lamont Stormwater District. One of them would be for the county to pass a resolution requesting the dissolution. That process would require protest hearings, potentially elections. To dissolve the district, it would have to potentially go to an election. The second option would be if 3 people from within the district were appointed to the board meets, passes a resolution, and if they do that, there's no protest hearing, there's no elections, and we can move through this much more quickly. So you and I need to sit down and figure out which of those 2 options is best. Is best for everyone, yes. And for those who aren't familiar, if this dissolves, the county becomes responsible for stormwater services, which they've already been doing anyway. So it works out to be a good thing. Next month, I'm going to be bringing an emergency extension of services for City of McFarland. I just approved that this last week after the agenda was being finished. So that'll come to you. And next month, we will have a very large annexation regarding a hospital in Ridgecrest. So that's the projects I'm working on. I want to mention that we recently got a certificate from Special Districts Risk Management that says for the last 5 years, we have had no claims in our workers' compensation, and I can tell you it hasn't been 5 years, it's been at least 9. So we are an award-winning LAFCo, and interesting enough, they sent me a second certificate, so we are a multi-award winning LAFCO. So.
Put it on my wall, yeah.
So with that, our next meeting is September 17th.
I was contacted by LAFCo. They want to know if anyone's interested in attending.
Let's not do that now.
Okay.
And with that, I'm done with my report. Thank you.
Chair,
Okay, thank you.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
3 questions. One is, what is the latest, or is there going to be another Lost Hill application for a Rec and Park District? 2, what is the lease arrangement? Are we going to be homeless in the future? Which is your office. 3rd is, I hear the annual LAFCo conference is now taking reservations. Is that going to be an option for board members? And I believe it's in San Diego. 3 items. Thank you.
I forgot to tell you, Vince asked me about that too.
Oh. There is a LAFCo conference. I don't know when it is, or what's on the schedule. I will send out information on that to all the commissioners. That was one. Lease expires in April of 2026. So we have some time there to work on that. And the 3rd one was Lost Hills Recreation Park. I have run into the folks from Wonderful, and they said, we're still thinking about it. I'm also having a conversation with Mr. Clark over here about potentially consolidating Westside Rec and Park with Button Willow Rec and Park, and then annexing Lost Hills into that district. So
Great idea.
Right now, it's just a conversation. Actually, if you and I can work on, in a couple of weeks, me going out to Button Willow and meeting with some of the board members, maybe we can start having a conversation with them about what that looks like and what their wishes are for something like that to happen. So let's work on that.
October 22nd.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that leaves us to adjournment, and our next scheduled meeting would be Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your attendance.